Recording in progress.
be for the individuals.
Should I, go?
But individuals could present something for.
We're ready.
Don't start without me.
Good, let's vote on
Yeah. Coming in?
See everything up there but the clock. 4:30, you can see it.
30.
Exactly. Okay, I'm gonna call the meeting to order. And, under new business, do you want me to make a motion to accept the minutes for the last meeting? Yes. Make a motion to accept the minutes for the last meeting as written, April 8th. Okay,
I'll second it.
moved and seconded to accept the minutes of April 8th. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Okay, I'm gonna say that the, on this agenda that we had a discussion about the placement of the condenser and whatever you want to call it for the ice skating rink.
Yeah.
It was voted 6-2 to place the permanent structure on the west side of the tennis courts. Is that good?
Yep.
Everyone agree to that?
Is it worth saying? Because it was a minimum of visual distraction or?
I don't think it's gonna make any difference in the motion, but sure, I mean, there were a lot of reasons we voted
Yeah, the concern was the sound,
sound.
The view.
And the visual
the
impact.
visual impact on the other side, so.
Well, people getting off the bus right there and they would have that right in their face.
Yeah. So, I'm just entering that in the minutes as,
I recorded the site visit and it'll be on the top with the motion. And I had, and it had adjournment at that, like, I'm gonna treat it as two different meetings.
Right.
But I'm gonna put this in, discussion of placement voted 6-2 to place structure on west side of tennis courts. You want that under new business or?
it's under new
New
business here.
business? Okay.
Yeah. Okay, the second item on the agenda is the Maine pier discussion. So John, I'm gonna turn that right over to you.
I mean, I think this is just an ongoing discussion, of ideas that anyone's had that they've come up with to better the pier when we build it. We're waiting on getting started with Greg Johnston as RFQ to help us put out to bid for a engineering firm to set us up to have a warrant article for next town meeting to set aside the money to pay them to do the engineering and help us select a contractor.
I thought it was an RFP before.
It's RFQ.
RFQ, okay,
My mistake.
I got that wrong then before. So it's
I'd like to add something that for every regular meeting, I would like an update from Greg Johnson.
Sure, he hasn't done anything for us yet because I haven't.
Right, but I would like to see that in writing because it's very easy to get these things postponed. And I want to see a commitment report.
even an email.
He's gonna come in and do several working with
Yeah.
us. and help us figure out exactly what we want on paper. And then he's gonna lure us in a large engineering firm to do the planning and work with us. Greg will step away once we've hired an engineering firm. And it will be solely on them to.
We're gonna meet in June.
You will meet in June, yeah.
Okay, I think by June, if we should have some kind of correspondence from Greg, email or something like that, that says,
Ask him to attend. If you-
ask him to attend.
Or even like an email every, any,
Right,
what's going on.
we've got,
If he's here, because then we can ask.
And
him.
even every month when we're gone, it'd be nice to have a just,
absolutely,
like, he's sort of Rick can disseminate it or whatever, we just,
Yeah.
hey, we're here, that, I haven't got anything done, I haven't done
He
anything.
hasn't done anything yet because I haven't authorized him to yet.
I know, but just any updates from either one of you would help us a lot, like, we didn't know either part of that, so you just told us. So anything like that would really help us as a group.
yeah, and it's the way to keep the topic going. Sitting on
I
a couple of
foresee-
committees that are easy to stall.
It being on.
I don't like to
the agenda
stall.
every month until we hire a contractor
Yep.
and it's finished.
But he's our go-between. He's the engineer, he's the, professional advisor, and we just have to keep this thing in motion.
When we pick a firm to do the engineering, is he our go-between or?
After we pick them and hire them, it's their job at that point. He's just helping us land a big engineering firm.
But he told us that he wanted to make sure all our concerns were, he was gonna be our representative to that engineering firm we were told before.
Yeah, but I think once we hire the engineering firm and we're paying him, Greg's job is done. And then we'll have a representative from that engineering firm, and I hope it is the engineering firm that did the survey for us.
So when you give them the go-ahead, are you gonna get a contractor services to sign that details this?
Greg's stuff is all lined out, and I think you guys have seen a copy of it at one point. It's between $6,000 and $8,000.
That's all I remember Steve was saying.
No, it's like 3 pages. I can resend it out.
Yeah, please do. So I think it's important that in June that we have a firm commitment, understanding that the status of where we're at. And when we meet again in September, we would like another
Well, like you were
update.
saying, it's nice, even though we're not meeting, maybe to just get an email from this firm so that they can tell us where we're at along the way, like even once a month.
And basically, he's gonna put a bid package together for us to send out to a bunch of firms that are able to do the size of job that we're looking to do. And it's just like we're bidding out the construction, we're bidding out for an engineering firm to send us back what they can do for us and how much they can charge for it. And then you guys are going to select one of them, and they will start and work with us and build out what we want when it's where we want it to be.
So we're turning the whole thing over, the state and federal permits if necessary.
All of that will be done by the engineering firm.
Okay, that's fine. That's part of the
The
contract.
only other thing that we potentially would do would be to have someone help us with grants if we decide we want to take any grant money for this.
Well, the last we left, we needed information on what the grants entail and requirements and what for.
I think Greg will be able to help us with that because he applies for grants and stuff. And I can get Noel Musson to give us a breakdown because Noel writes a ton of grants.
Everybody here should keep in mind that it took us over 30 years to get rid of the federal grants on this mess down here before.
That was the federal project.
I understand, but when we accepted that money, there was obligations that you don't even imagine. So keep that in mind. All right. We good? Any more questions, discussion?
Would it be better if we had Greg come at our September meeting You know, because we're gonna have him come in June, then we got 2 months that we'll forget it all, and then we'd have to rehash the whole thing. It's up to you.
I think that's a legitimate request.
I'd like to see like where, I mean, how long does this RFQ take? Is he gonna, either in summer, it'd be nice if he got it done, like you said, to get the ball rolling.
Specific stuff that you want to talk to Greg about, because he's going to be working on this through the summer. So if you've got any direction you want to give him, I would give it to him next month.
Okay.
If
And
it
the time-
doesn't, if I
like a
don't
timeline.
talk to him and he doesn't do anything, he's gonna be starting in September, so.
He's always told me his boat never goes in the water, so he'll have all summer to work on it for.
He's a busy man.
So you're gonna try to get him
I'll
here,
have him here for our next meeting.
Greg will be at next week.
Once the engineering firm gets done, and do they put out the bids?
They will put out the bids and everything, and they will come back to us with we'll probably have a bid opening right here in the town office. I'll open them. And then they will be presented to you guys with the engineering firm giving you their recommendations on the contractors, and you guys will choose one.
And we're not locked into the low bidder.
No, generally the low bidder, but no, our language always says that we're not
Yeah.
stuck with the low bidder.
How long do we have to decide? Do we have to make that decision right then and there?
You're not gonna have months to make a
No,
decision.
but just a
You're gonna
month,
get presented with a package, you'll have time to review it.
Yeah.
You'll get the word from the engineering firm and you guys will need to make a decision.
Okay.
I would assume we'd have time is of the essence.
And the engineering firm will work with the
The
contractor.
timeline I've talked out with Greg, when this is all done, bids should be in sometime November, December timeframe. Is in town meetings in May.
Yeah.
We got the month of June, January and February to get a warrant article written to send to town meeting, so.
So if we write, but for next year's town meeting?
No, we're 3 or 4 years out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Next year's town meeting we'll get money to pay for the engineering firm.
Okay.
They'll have 2 years to engineer this, get everything ready and get it out to bid. Then town meeting of 2028 or 29, I'm not sure right off the top of my head. It's one of those. That's when we will get money for a bond and whatever we can kick in. And if we have grant money we're gonna use, that's fine. Construction would happen the following November to April.
Good. Well, let's keep the ball rolling. All right. We're open for a room for discussion and general issues. John, I'm gonna turn it over to you. I know a couple things you want to bring up, so.
Well, you have a gentleman here that asked me to be able to come and speak with you folks and
Okay,
let him stand up and introduce himself.
tell us your name and tell us what you're here for.
So my name is Mike McEnroe. I know a bunch of you, but I've got a landing craft that I'm gonna start doing charters out of. And I know the charters are full out of Northeast, but I want to go out of Bartlett's Landing. So I just I'm probably gonna use either the ramp or the beach because it's better for my boat. I won't need the dock. I'm gonna do just 3 charters one day a week off of that side of the island, but there's a lot of people going off this side from Bar Harbor, and I have a private dock I go out on Southwest Harbor, so I'll do a couple charters.
Are you talking about passengers
Yes, taking people out
on a barge?
on a barge. I have a landing craft, a
Oh,
33-foot aluminum landing craft. So
We've talked about Bartlett's Island, John,
We've opened it up to a couple of seafood buyers, and really in Bartlett is utilized by the kayak people. There really isn't any other activity like that other than just personal use over there, other than, the fishermen. and the Cranberry, the Bartlett Island folks coming.
This has always been an issue, but, we require, the town to be, insured. You have to have insurance.
I have insurance, I have all that
The town has to be,
Additional.
on it, that's not a problem,
an additionally insured,
yes,
and it's $1 million.
yes.
Okay.
I think my policy is 1.5 million right now, so
I'm just,
minimum. That's fine.
that's minimum.
How many passengers?
I can take up to 11.
Parking's a premium over there. I don't know how busy.
Parking is the biggest issue.
Well, I own land 3/4 of a mile up the road. So if I have to, what I was gonna do is have them come there and I can drive them down. If it's the busy part of the season.
Yeah, I just, myself, I don't know how busy it is over there with the summer boats and stuff.
Right.
So I'm just throwing that in there, just,
I'm looking to take one party,
yeah.
one family.
Or,
I'm not looking to take like 2 different families.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a private charter.
Yeah.
Stuff, so. I'm not, if there's 11 people, there won't be 11 cars. So, but if it's busy down there, I'll just have them park at my house. Take one.
Motion to accept the proposal?
Yeah, any discussion? Seconded?
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? Your operation would be June through September?
I am thinking about going even in the wintertime. I have a heated cab. So, but it would be just if someone called.
Just for one family, he's operating.
Right, right.
That's fine.
From the rules, this doesn't hold, right? Like, it is, like, when we've been giving out all the other, I have nothing against.
No, that's
I'm
fine.
just trying to square this
Yeah.
up with the committee. So, when other people have come here to ask to go out for charters, we've said no, because it's all full.
That's not entirely true,
Oh, no.
because we let the Grays go into Seal Harbor with that camp that's over there. Is that right, John? Yeah, Northeast Harbor is full.
Okay,
Bartlett's is not utilized though. There's
no, I get that, it's not, I totally,
activity.
yeah, I totally understand.
We did a few years ago allow Gray to do special trips out of there, even though they weren't one of our users,
Right,
because they were doing special trips for the school up there.
yeah,
But so we have done something similar, and
and so do they have to follow all the requirements of the other operators? Is that the way it works? Okay.
But we're also not limiting the same as the barges land here. They just land per trip and pay.
Yeah.
They're not under the same requirements that a commercial operator is designated by the usage of the flow.
that's another thing you guys need to make a decision on is the operators down here off the docks pay $650 and 28 cents a head.
Right,
The barge pays $15 per hit for commercial use. So you need to figure out how you want to go about Bartlett's.
The irony of the 650 is that it allows the authorized boat people to use any of the docks in the town of Mount Desert.
right.
So,
So are you saying you would only use Bartlett's? You would never bring the barge or?
Well, I take Whitehend's crew back and forth to Sutton's Island as a barge, not a charter. So it's just a trip for there, and I'll pick them up here. A lot of times I pick them up in Manson. Depends on what they're loading or unloading. So,
I was just trying to understand, is this, you're asking for permission to run this out of Bartlett, not out of Northeast or Seal?
well, the barge business I have is separate than the charter business, so I still have to pay the $15 for landing at the ramp in here for the transport side of it. But the charter business is gonna be something totally different.
And that's gonna be only out of Bartlett.
Right. And I'm the only one, I've got 3 other captains that are running, and they only have a 6-pack. So I'll take, if there's a larger family that, you know, I think I can really take up to 18, but I only have 11 life jackets on my boat, so. The other captain's only gonna be 6. So,
I have a motion second.
Read your motions.
Motion is to allow, operate as presented, and by presenting, I mean operating, is from the ramp or beach.
Second.
The operating landing craft to use at Bartlett's ramp or off beach. Town to be named as an insurance, we noted.
And then they also mentioned when you're gonna do it, you said year round, you said?
well, I don't think I'm gonna get a lot of business, but there's a few crazy people that come here in the wintertime, and to be honest with you, it's pretty on the water. In the wintertime, the sky's clear, so if it's a good day, and if someone called me and said they want to do a 2-hour trip, I can take them up.
Yeah, just if that's your intention, I think it's good to put it in there so they, no one's surprised later.
Yeah,
So. Do we want to have the same fee structure as the landing, because it's landing at the ramp, at $15 a time, or what's the?
to be honest with you, I'd rather,
Requirements to you for people coming and going?
can I pay a flat fee up front? When I talked to John earlier, he said they also, aside from the fee, it's $15 a head. They could be paid, but I would rather pay something up front.
It's 28 cents a person,
First, right,
$15 for every touch to the ramp.
right. So, but I would just soon prepay the town some money, because I don't know, you know, it's the first year. And I don't know how it's gonna go.
That's why we-
The passenger boats are paying $600.
$650.
$650, I'm sorry.
I don't mind paying that.
I,
And then
I suggest that that be the standard fee for the whole town. And that means we're not showing you any preferential treatment.
Yeah, but he's not using the town. I understand.
But he's doing some business.
Yeah, but I mean,
Right.
but you can do pastors for him too, or just 650.
Yeah, I'd say the $650 is legitimate.
Yeah, I have no idea how much business I'm gonna get, or it could be swamped, or it could be,
Well, it
But-
depends. If you keep it, the longer you're in business, the more business you get.
right.
So if we're going that route, $650 like every other operator, and keep track of your passengers, 28 cents a head.
And can we put anything about the parking? Like he can only have like 3 parking
I
spaces?
don't think we should, Howie, mainly because we don't say anything about parking down here.
Okay.
And there's a lot of abuse over there. Vehicles, trailers left Bartlett's, and that's an enforcement issue. You know what I mean, that,
Yeah, yeah.
and we just take, no, I agree. And we do that I mean, that's something to look at if it expands, because the part of the limiting of the number of operators is, in regards to parking, the passenger.
John just suggested something, and I'm gonna say this will be a provisional 1-year permit. And we'll review it in the next year. If it works out fine, probably good to go.
Perfect. That's good.
What
for me.
is your operation called that's gonna be doing this?
It's Kukui Charters. Kukui Charters. My father was in the Coast Guard. It was the first boat he was
You take deer hunters to Long Island?
on. Yeah, we do about anything. A lot of side by sides.
Okay, good job. Good luck.
So I want to add that stuff in the motion.
Yes.
So the 28 cents, 650 a year and provisional permit.
We'll review it.
And you give me a call tomorrow, I'll tell you everything that I need.
We could vote. Yes, we are gonna vote. Has that motion been seconded?
Yep.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Opposed, carried. Good to go.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Maybe, Rick, at some point, should we address Bartlett's, if we have one there now, or we, you know what I mean, is it gonna be 2 and 3 and 4, like, should we come up with some sort of plan for Bartlett's at some point?
Let's see how it goes for the first year.
That's a good answer, Howie.
But it's something to consider.
just, I mean, if the next guy comes, we don't have a reason to say no to them, or the next 5 people show up and wanna do it, we don't have a plan, we let one, so we might wanna come up with.
This is why it's a provisional.
Yeah.
And he's not using the dog.
Yep.
Where all the other operators get to use the dog.
I'm gonna chase some handicap because I took a woman from Seal Harbor out to Puddles last year. And they drove her on the boat in the golf cart and
Yeah.
drove her off over at Puddles for a while. So, and it was, I have that advantage to be able to offer.
Been around, bro, if you call it puddle.
He didn't dye his hair gray.
Okay, so now we get some Northeast Harbor commercial activity to discuss.
So, John Dwelly is retiring. His brother passed away and, he's the only one left to take care of his mom, so he's decided he's retiring. The boat's going up for sale. And that is something that we, in our ordinance says we need to review. And then we would offer up in September an advertisement in the paper to bring in, people that want to do something like this gentleman.
Yeah.
It would be limited to a 6-pack because that's what's being given up.
Yeah.
So that's what.
So
Someone's
what's
buying the
unique
boat.
about this is that it's very short notice. And we do the review for applicants in September. So there's an opening right now, and John has another suggestion.
My suggestion or something I'd throw up to you is let Dallas Hodgkins run under Mike Olson's
Permit.
license last year. Mike is gonna be back in business. Is that something that you guys would entertain where he's already a known and did a really good job? Would you guys want to leave that empty this summer? Or do you want to let it be used again by someone that used it last year and played by the rules and did everything? Or do you just want to leave it empty and offer it for advertisement in September?
So has he already fulfilled his commitment to this year? We accepted him last year. In our
Dallas?
No, the Delight. Is he currently permanent? We have a lease agreement with him.
No, the lease agreements run, he is still licensed until July 1st. They run from July 1 to June 30. So his thing doesn't run out, and he notified me today. He called yesterday, but I didn't talk to him until today.
And he could sell the business?
He can sell his business, but it's not gonna transfer the permit.
But it usually does.
He is aware that he can sell his boat, but the permit or license to operate off the dock does not go with it.
Right, but I mean, usually if somebody sells it, we usually allow them to go in. I know it's not attached to it, but it's,
I can't think of a
Well, we
time
talked
when
about
that's
the
happened.
whole-
what do you mean?
We have language.
Bunker, Blair. It's
So-
Blair was the last one to be sold that the permit actually went with the business. Beal and Bunker,
But Blair didn't go with business. We just allowed him to, I mean, it didn't go with the business. We just allowed him to take.
that was the last one that happened before we changed the ordinance.
So what I'm getting
Why,
at,
it's never gone with it.
what we have a kind of rules where it has to go into a lottery.
Yes.
Mhm.
That's what's gonna happen. We're gonna advertise this in September and we're gonna take applicants.
Yep.
Everyone that fits all the things that we asked for
Yep.
will go in a hat and somebody will pick a name.
But Blair the permit did not go with Blair's boat. It did not, because it's not been that way. It's always been, they've come to us and said, I'm buying this boat, I'd like to take, and we've allowed them to do it, but it's not.
It was
been attached
allowed to happen until the Cadillac was sold. It was sold and the price was such a difference on what it truly was worth that you guys, we worked for a year and changed it in the ordinance and it
So
now was not allowed.
and the second paragraph says the license does not grant any property interest to the licensee or is not transferable.
But it's never been transferred. I mean, it's
But
never been
it
on
always
paper.
Did, and you guys always allowed it. but now we're.
I've been here for a long time.
We did it with Rob, but he sold the.
Right, but it's not been, he can't sell, like when Rob sold his business, he couldn't say my landing rights are with it. Whoever bought it had to come before
No,
us.
I disagree.
You're,
He couldn't have sold the business if he didn't have landing rights.
Right, but it wasn't
we
attached.
changed, that's why we changed it,
Yeah.
because it could be done.
Couple of years was
I'll disagree, I've sat at this table a long time.
I don't remember granting this guy permission. I must have missed a meeting, but I kind of object to him taking Mike Olson's spot when Mike wasn't. Now that I know that we did that, I don't remember it. I must have been out. I don't feel it's right to give him preference, let him run his business with this gap here. Unless he goes.
He doesn't know anything about this. This is just my recommendation. And I was wondering if you guys wanted this to sit empty or you wanted it to be used and what money we make off of it.
So, John, can I just understand what you're saying is that as of July first, that the light is no longer running?
That's correct.
Okay. That, and
It is not
and
running now. It won't.
and it won't be. All right, I got it. And so what you're saying is that there's a lack of a passenger boat now.
There's a water taxi that
Yeah, the
we're
water.
operating, and I'm not saying that Dallas would fill that gap.
I get it.
It's the only one that I could think of short notice that
Right.
might be able to do something with it.
So what does Dallas do?
Dallas takes people fishing, he takes them out sightseeing.
So, yeah, but the other thing is, I know he runs all summer, but where's he pick his people up?
Dallas.
Yeah.
He works off of Clifton Dock,
That's right.
So,
and that's his intention this year.
yeah, so I don't have a problem, like, I think it's a good idea to get someone in to fill the void.
And it would only be until we can advertise.
So it's temporary.
Yeah,
I get that, but hold on a second. Trying to say that I think it's a good idea to have someone fill the void, but I don't think it's a good idea for us to hand pick someone. I think it's a good idea for us to ask for some volunteers and then we can decide at that point, but just to, touch someone on the shoulder and say, you're bestowed with this business for the year, doesn't feel.
I could answer that by saying we could advertise that there will be an opening on July 1st. And
so our ordinance says that we have to wait until September. You
Well-
guys discussed. The thing is, there isn't time for for us to get this in the paper, for me to gather all these people and have them back in front of you guys next month. So that's why it says that it would be offered in September for the following calendar year.
Sure.
John's point is that since this guy's already vetted and played by all the
We can
rules.
just say the spot's
do.
empty for the summer,
Yeah.
nobody's
Yeah.
gonna use it.
and he can continue to use Clifton Dock.
I
He
think
has
that's-
no idea that I'm even asking.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that would solve a lot of
I
legal issues.
okay.
It's just a suggestion. If you
Yeah.
guys wanted to have someone that's ready to walk into it.
Would John Drolly be okay with that? I mean,
John Dwelly is done.
doesn't he own the boat?
His boat he is done. He told me today that he is not coming back.
It doesn't matter.
He is not coming back to Maine. His boat is for sale.
I just think it's too short of a time and I worked out good. I'd like to see, but I don't think it's proper. I think we gotta wait. Sure. It's come up short notice. I think we gotta wait and advertise and let.
Either way on it, but
I think we better leave things alone.
Yeah.
a suggestion for.
John, I didn't have any problem with if we picked Dallas out of the crowd. It's just a matter of getting names.
Yeah, but
But yeah,
Our ordinance specifically says a date and we just started to get a review process. We're still just trying to follow our own rules.
I'm fine.
Nothing against anyone. It's nothing to do with person.
Yeah.
I
Are we
just,
allowed to let this guy do it? If we all agreed on doing
You
it?
guys let him run last year in Mike Olson's spot,
Yeah.
so,
But he was picked, but you just said he picked up in Clifton, right?
no, he picked up from the commercial dock
No, he
last
took
year
Mike's
because we
spot.
let him
That's
run
what I
under
mean.
Mike Olson's license.
But that was all.
To go to do it.
He actually picked up from the public, though.
Time to, sure. And all we're saying is that
He picked up at the public though.
Yes.
But he was operating under Mike's.
Yes, he
Two
was-
different
And
things,
now he'd be
we allowed him,
operating under this.
which is up to lease, it's not a change in numbers, that was allowed in our ordinance what we did. Because he was running the boat under Mike's.
So what's changing is that Mike
It's fine.
gonna run his own boat. Apparently.
Yes, Mike bought a boat. It's a really nice boat sitting down in the parking lot.
Okay.
He did everything that you guys asked him to do. He got a boat that's gonna operate and.
I don't think we can make this special arrangement right now.
sounds,
Very simple. Leave it plain.
Leave it the way it is. Okay,
I just wrote Dwight going up for sale, not operating this year. We'll advertise in September per ordinance.
And we'll let this guy do this in the summer. Put the dog.
No, he can do whatever he wants.
He can do
we
it.
don't say anything.
Don't say over it.
Just need to pick them up, and drop them off here.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to talk about? I mean, these are important topics.
Yeah.
We have one more meeting in June. Everything else is going pretty good, right, John?
do we have any loose ends on the attendance issues?
Oh, well, that's been on topic in the past.
Seems like. Gonna see if we had any regulations about it within, from the town?
I'm gonna add to that,
There isn't.
we went back to the town, between John and I, there's no attendance requirements in any of the committees in the town of Mount Desert. So,
I believe we asked the chairman to speak with the offender and see what his intentions were.
I don't remember you asking me that, but thank you very much.
Chris, is that in the minutes at all?
The irony of it is, that we only have one person
For him, if you wanna go back.
that physically doesn't come very often, but he's attended quite a few Zoom meetings. His attendance record's not that bad, actually.
I'd like to say something. If someone's, we're a small town and we pretty much know each other. And I think that if someone's not attending, then one of us, doesn't have to be the chairman or whatever, one of us would reach out to that person. No regulation, no on any of those formal things and just say, hey, is everything okay? We'd like to see you at the meetings. Is everything okay? I don't think we need to make a big deal out of the whole thing, honestly. Because maybe that person isn't okay. And I think we're small enough, we can talk to each other.
But the other side of that was that there were people waiting to be on the committee that were willing to
I think
speak.
there was one person, I think you said there's only one person on the list.
Well, one of them's a selectman now, so there's really only one sitting waiting right now.
On the list, So I don't know, like you said, the attendance isn't that poor. It's just the fact that he's on Zoom more than in person, and
I think.
Zoom is equally attending.
Is anyone else on Zoom?
No, not today.
Not today.
I mean, I guess, it wouldn't hurt to ask. I mean, and you've got business, and I get it, it doesn't work in his work schedule, it's difficult. I don't think he's being neglectful or doesn't care about this committee. I don't perceive that at all, but if it's something, is it more bothersome to him to do it, or he feels he should step away, let someone else know? I think that's a fair question to ask.
I think you said it's hard for him to think. Yeah. I think the chair should ask him his intentions on the committee, or the chair should appoint somebody to ask him. But, we should ask him, do you want to keep?
These are all legitimate questions and I don't mind asking him. I think probably the best source, and I hate to say it, would be John.
It's fine. If you guys want me to reach out to him and see what his intentions are,
I think you would be the best.
put it in the minutes.
So,
If you have it, it's fine, I'm gonna read it, so put it in the
So
minutes.
we're going to address any members, how do you want to put it? Not frequently attending, missing numerous meetings.
lack of attendance.
I
We're
think.
going to address any members' lack of attendance.
I think this is a one-off, and I thought Tom was just gonna talk to him and see if everything was okay, and maybe we just put in the minutes.
Well, if we put in there, so if we're not we're not looking at one person. It could be any people forward, you know, that he'll be the ways, you know, if someone isn't attending.
I think it's not formal, because there's no such thing in the town for any other committee.
Okay.
So I don't think our committee should be different. It should.
Okay, so you want me to be
I would-
specific to Doug?
I would just say, we all know that it's Doug that you're reaching out to,
The rest?
so just, that you're just gonna ask most people to continue.
Serving on other committees in town that nobody ever
No,
jumped on the
So we
floor
don't.
committee or any for attendance, lack of attendance. And
When's his term up? That's the question.
So I just have it in here, there's no requirement for the town for
I think
attendance.
his term ends in 25.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of you that will be re-upping for your next term.
Is that in September?
They're all staggered. Now it will happen very soon.
You're gonna know from this.
Like Claire, you'll get something from Claire eventually here.
But if you don't object, yeah, you would just automatically renew it, right? I
I
mean,
think so.
yeah.
Okay,
It seems like a point in time to reach
do we
out.
have a motion on this?
We don't need a motion.
We don't need a.
We don't need a motion because we're not setting any sort of.
That's a,
or anything
that's a
like
good, that's a
no
good
other
way to keep
committee.
it.
No other committee.
John, just go ahead and
Yeah,
touch
just
base.
come and maybe there's something we can do to encourage them to come or help them out. So
Yeah, let him win the lottery. It doesn't have to work.
On another note, Seal Harbor, the new setup is complete. Seems to be functioning great.
Does the voice work over there?
The voice works. Water's on. Docks are split in two. Everything's riding in the right spot.
Could have been able to tell that by nobody from Seal Harbor.
I don't think we should really celebrate, because they got a bum deal for quite a while.
No, just, you know, it's,
Thank you.
Power's on.
It was an unutilized harbor for many years.
And there's
No
votes.
message.
think you're still gonna end up with a porta potty for a bit until they get the new concrete pad
Fancy porta potty.
put in place.
So yesterday, it looks good.
Howie, you can report to us.
It looked good. John saw me, you know, we saw each other, so it all
I
looked
think I
good.
saw you when you saw me, cause you, you're.
That's right, yeah, they probably were, yeah. That's right, I just got back from the doctor.
You're that way.
Yeah.
I even went
So
to
I told John.
the Otter Creek landing yesterday. And the fish house.
That's part of Bar Harbor.
So John, was the old hoist motor fine?
Yeah, no,
Oh, good.
fired it up. It's operating, seems to be working fine.
All right, folks, anything else we're gonna bring up? If not, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
We'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor, raise your hand.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.
Bob Summers, we would open a